I'm Heuzy, this is Hornet, and we're about to compete in a 3-day game making challenge. But unfortunately for our sanities, that's not all. Because at the beginning of each day, we must change our game based on a challenge given by the other person. There were ups and there were certainly downs, so if you want to see how my journey went, make sure to stick around until the end. So the first day came and it was time to receive my first challenge. So let's go ahead and see what Hornet came up with. Retrofuturism? Hold up. What the is retrofuturism? Okay, after a quick Google search, retrofuturism is essentially the aesthetic of which people thought the future would be like sometime in the past. Honestly, that's super cool, but as a theme, this sucked to implement. This is mainly because, well, my art skills are subpar to say the least, and do not have much detail to them in any way whatsoever. So, let's try to break this down into something that I can work with. After further research, I found out that perhaps the most common type of retrofuturism is a cyberpunk type style. And what's the first thing that comes to mind when you're thinking about cyberpunk? Oh no, not that. Robots. So I grabbed a color palette and made these robot character things, which are pretty goofy looking to be honest, but I kinda like it about them, so we'll go with it. But what are these guys gonna do? Well, I figured giving them each an ability would make the most sense, but I unfortunately only had the time to work on one of these ability ideas, being the gravity flip. And by the end of the day, it was mostly working, but fixing it fully will unfortunately have to be a job for my future self, as the first day officially came to a close. Alright, now that it's the second day, let's go ahead and see the next challenge Hornet has so kindly blessed me with. Ascend. Alright, I can work with this. And after brainstorming how this affects what I've currently got, I decided that the only real change I actually need to make is to have all the levels be completely vertical. And thankfully, unlike yesterday, I had much more time to work on the game today. So, I managed to work on some art, change the resolution of the game to fit the vertical levels a bit better, make both a death and checkpoint system, and even finish the gravity flip. Oh shoot, that last one was a lie, because unfortunately, I came across a horrible, absolutely horrific, game-breaking bug. Let me break it down. So, for the gravity flip system, I was using an extension that is built into the engine that I'm using. But for some gosh darn reason, this extension will completely stop working after dying just once. And, surprise surprise, we cannot have that. But no matter how much I tried, I could not find a way to fix it. So, with time getting closer to an end, I decided that I either had to completely scrap the gravity flipping mechanic, or completely scrap death itself. And overall, I knew that it simply wasn't feasible to have a game where you couldn't die. So, unfortunately, I deleted all of the code related to gravity flipping. And then what did I do? Well, I created the most important aspect of my game. A character select screen, which may or may not have been the most productive idea, but it's what I felt like doing at the time, so whatever. I then went ahead and did a little bit of level design and added both springs that can launch you into the air and a box that you could push. Definitely not super unique, but I needed to add something. I also decided to add a double jump in order to make the platforming feel a little bit more interesting. But with that progress done, it was time to head to bed. And more importantly, hope that day 3 goes at least a little bit better. Alright, it all comes down to this. My hopes were high for a simple challenge from Hornet, and thankfully I got just that. All I had to do was add an NPC, so I made another little robot guy, and decided he would be at the top of a level and have a short dialogue interaction that leads to the end of the game. And speaking of the game, well, there's a problem with it. It really just isn't any fun, which is kind of the point of a video game. But why exactly is it not fun? Well, since I had scrapped the idea of having characters with multiple abilities, they were simply for looks and the gameplay itself was way too simple and got boring very fast. And because of this, I knew I needed to change something. So, here's the new and final plan. Sure, I don't have time to give each character abilities, but what if I don't have to? What if I simply change how each of them interacts with a level? For example, maybe one character could die to spikes, while maybe another is immune and instead dies to boxes. I'm liking this actually, so let's try to figure out some specifics. Let's have the red bot be immune to spikes and be killed by boxes, the green bot be killed by collectibles, the yellow bot be constantly jumping at a lower gravity, and finally, the blue bot maybe is just essentially always on ice. This actually seems pretty promising. It changes the dynamic of the level completely, and it allows for different amounts of difficulty, therefore supporting both experienced and inexperienced players. And most importantly, it is so much more entertaining. So now I just need to go ahead and make a full-on level, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to leave for the last day, but regardless, I did manage to make a serviceable level with an alright amount of length. Then I went ahead and got some music from freesound.org, some sound effects from the gdevelop asset store, made a title screen, and made a screen that loops back to the character selector. So, we're done, right? Well, not exactly. Just because the game is done doesn't mean I'm finished, because any game made in this short amount of time should always leave enough time for polish. So, I sent a message into my Discord server, link below by the way, and had 2 people request a playtest. And after taking their feedback, I managed to tweak a couple of platforming sections, add WASD controls to the game, and come up with a name, being Gear Up, which is a pun on the name Only Up. And with that, the game was truly done, and I was able to upload it to itch.io with plenty of time to spare. Now it is time for the moment of truth. What does Snow Hornet think of my game?
I like your game, like a lot.
Heck yeah. So, thanks to Snow Hornet for collabing on this, and make sure to go check out how his game went on his own channel. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment on how much my game sucked, or how much it didn't suck. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.